गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी जय श्री श्री राधा माधव सखी की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय। श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। Hare Krishna. I welcome all of the devotees here for our Bhakti Vaibhava session, our course which is going to commence soon. When I say soon, we are going to start the orientation today, and then we are going to send the calendar over next few days, where we'll have the reading schedule. Today in this orientation, actually, we will go through what Bhakti Vaibhava is, what are the requirements, what are the things that one need to do, and also the mood of how we should study Bhagavatam. But before that, we start with some Mangalacharan prayers. And then for those who are interested, you can grab the copy of Krishna Leela Stava. We are going to recite a few prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, let's start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Please, this is not a small or a trivial thing that you are getting into. It's a deep study and meditation of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not different from Krishna. And let's take this opportunity of Mangalacharan to really, really pray from the very core of our hearts that our spiritual masters, Sriman Mahaprabhu, and ultimately Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan and Nrsingadev bless us with some minute intelligence so that at least we can start perceiving what Srimad Bhagavatam is. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Matsamo nasti papatma, na paradhi cha kaschana, parihare pilajjame, kim bhruve purushottama. Bhumau skalitapadanam, bhumireva Tvai jata paradhanam, tvameva sharanam prabho. Govinda vallabhe radhe, prarthaye tvamaham sada, tvadiyam iti janatu, Govindo mam tvaya saha. Radha radhita radhesha, radhika prana vallabha, Radha ramana vande tvam, radhika prema nirjita. Narayanam namaskrityam, naram chaiva narottamam, devim saraswatim vyasam, tato jayamudirayet. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu, nityam bhagavata sevaya, bhagavati uttama shloke, bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Please allow me to say a few more prayers on glorification from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we'll start. Sarva Shastra Abdi Piyusha, Sarva Vedaika Satphala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, Sarva Lokai Kadrik Prada, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabho, Kali Dvando Tayaditya, Sri Krishna Parivartita, Paramananda Pathaya, Prema Varsha Aksharayate, Sarvada Sarvasevyaya, Sri Krishnaya Namostume, Madeka Bando Matsangin, Manguro Manmahadana, Manishtaraka Madbhagya, Madananda Namostute, Asadu Sadutadayin, Atinicho Chataraka, Anamum cha kadachinmam premna hrit kantayo spura. Harivamsha Prabhu, they are in the last, so if you can kindly, there are series of prayers to Shaligram, series of prayers to Jagannath, Baldev Subhadra, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you can kindly read the translation of those prayers, that would be wonderful. I was actually expecting, I am deeply grateful that for those who have come to the temple. Frankly speaking, I was expecting more devotees to be present because the orientation session is very important, and it is very preferable that we take blessings of Madan Mohan and then start, because this will set the mood. Really?
I don't know when this evening.
Please go ahead.
O nectar from the ocean of the scriptures, singular fruit of all Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. So this is the text as Srimad Bhagavatam Mahima Stotram, praise of the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam.
On page?
Page is 296.
296, okay, go ahead.
Text 413 here now. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master, Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali, you are the exact image of Sri Krishna. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love.
Thank you. So these are the prayers actually written by Srila Sanatana Goswami, glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. That probably constitutes the mood in which we hold Srimad Bhagavatam in our esteem. There are two things we can do. I'll give a choice for the devotees who are present here. We can read from Chaitanya Bhagavat, which Mahaprabhu guides us on how to read Bhagavatam, or how to venerate Bhagavatam, and then we can get into the course material which we have, the handouts. Did everybody get? Sri Kumar Prabhu didn't get, Manjula Mataji didn't get, so probably they can get one copy. I think we'll go is read from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we'll get the mood of continuing with Srila Sanatana Goswami's prayers, how he glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam as the supreme most scripture, as a scripture which is singularly pointed out that one should read amongst the 5 items of devotional service. What are the 5 items of devotional service that one performs? And one more, association of devotees. Thank you. So singularly, Srimad Bhagavatam has been picked up as that limb of devotional service. And it is said that one who gets attachment even slightly to any of these limbs of devotional service, one gets perfection. So this Bhagavatam is our heart, is our very foundation for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And if time permits, which right now we don't have, we could have actually gone into Tattva Sandarbha to kind of give a definitive proof about how Bhagavatam is the absolute Amal Praman for this age and how it is the source of all knowledge. Because one of the most important things one should understand is, how do you know what you know? And the technical term for that is epistemology. Epistemology deals with, I know something, but how do you know it? Because if the source is wrong, then what you know doesn't really constitute any, or doesn't have any effectiveness or validity. Suppose if there is a university that is literally non-existent, and that's not there anywhere. It may be there, but it's really fake, online somewhere. You do something and something degree comes out of it, but there is no validity for that particular degree. So similarly, in our spiritual life, we should know conclusively what is the truth and how the truth is presented in Srimad Bhagavatam. But before that, even it comes whether Bhagavatam is the actual source of knowledge. The Tattva Sandarbha deals with that truth. Given the fact that it's not an audience of South Indian Brahmins 500 years ago, we are okay not reading Srimad Bhagavatam. But not reading Tattva Sandarbha at this point of time. But at least we should be very aware of the fact that Bhagavatam is Amal Puran, or the highest truth that gives the highest information, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. At least that faith should be there in Bhagavatam. Because when we read Bhagavatam, at times it may seem that really there's no mention of Krishna here. Or these particular passages have no clear reference to devotional service. But ingrained in the pages of Bhagavatam is the revelation of absolute truth. And as Srila Sanatana Goswami points out in his prayers, it's not different than Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is utterly not different than Krishna. In fact, Chaitanya Bhagavat even goes ahead, saying that there are 4 kinds of personalities who are immediately effective in this age of Kali. There is no need of any formal pran pratisthapana. For example, when the deities come to the temple, one has to do pran pratisthapana for the deities to kind of accept the service. But Chaitanya Bhagavat says 4 things are immediately effective. You don't have to do anything. First is the devotees. Second is Ganga. Third is Tulsi. Fourth is Srimad Bhagavatam. They are immediately effective. No formality is needed. So for book distributors who are distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, you can quote this to say that you don't have to worry about anything. I think we'll come to that shloka. If I believe right, we'll come to that shloka, but if not, I can find it for you. So we'll read from Chaitanya Bhagavat, which sets the mood, which sets the tone, which sets our requirements, internal requirements. I'm not talking of external requirements. That anyway we'll take care of. Exams, essays, the academic stuff we kind of will take care of. But the thing is, what we cannot take care is the internal mood. And that has to come from within. That probably is the most important thing rather than the external aspect of Bhakti Vaibhava. And our hope and prayer as we do this Bhakti Vaibhava is that we inculcate that internal mood of utter dependence and utter prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam to reveal himself, because Srimad Bhagavatam is not different than Krishna. So each time, at least when we start reading Bhagavatam, we are actually beholding Krishna in his beauty, the original form. Just like the names of Krishna are non-different from Krishna, and when we chant the names of Krishna, we perceive that Krishna is present right here. That is the mode we inculcate when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna is present in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Identical. So with that, we'll read some part of Chaitanya Bhagavat. This beautiful passage of Chaitanya Bhagavat takes the form of chastisement by Sri Mahaprabhu to teach a particular devotee who was teaching Bhagavatam. So probably I hope that Mahaprabhu also chastises me severely like that. I'll tell why. Jaya Jaya. So we are reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya, chapter 21. And the chapter is titled The Lord's Chastisement of Devananda. Text 1. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Prana Vishwambhar Jaya Gadadhar Pati Advaita Ishwar. All glories to Vishwambar, the life and soul of Nityananda. All glories to the master of Gadadhar and the Lord of Advaita. Jaya Srinivasa Hari Dasa Priyankara Jaya Ganga Dasa Vasudevera Ishvara. All glories to he who is most dear to Srivas and Haridas. All glories to the Lord of Gangadas and Vasudev. Bhakta Goshti Sahita Gauranga Jaya Jaya Sunile Chaitanya Kata Bhakti Labhya Hai. All glories to Lord Gauranga along with his associates. By hearing the topics of Sri Chaitanya, one attains devotional service. He namate navadvipe prabhu vishvambhara vihare samhati nityananda gadadhara. In this way, Lord Vishwambar enjoyed his pastimes in Navadvip with Nityananda and Gadadhar. Eka dina prabhu kare nagara brahman chari dikheyate apta bhagavatagan. One day the Lord was wandering about Navadvip, surrounded by his intimate devotees. Sarvabhauma Pita Visharada Maheshwara Tanhara Jangale Gela Prabhu Vishwambhara. While wandering, Lord Vishwambar went near the dam protecting the house of Visharada Maheshwar, the father of Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sheikhane Devananda Pandite Ravas Parama Shushanta Vipra Moksha Abhilash. At that place was the residence of Devananda Pandit, a most peaceful Brahmana who desired liberation. Jnanavanta tapasvi a janma udasina bhagavata padai tatapi bhakti hina. He was intelligent, austere and neutral since birth. He taught Srimad Bhagavatam, yet he was devoid of devotion. Bhagavate maha adhyapaka loke ghoshe marma artha na janena bhakti hina doshe. People respected him as a great teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, yet because he was devoid of devotion, he did not know the confidential purport. Even though he had some qualification to understand, he was unable because of some offense that only Krishna knew. Daive Prabhu Bhakta Sange Shei Pateyai Yekhane Te Tana Vyakhya Shunivare Pai. By providence, the Lord and his devotees were going on the same road when they heard his recitation. Whose recitation? Thank you. Sarva Bhuta Hriday Janaye Sarva Tattva Nashunay Vyakhya Bhakti Yoge Ramahatva. Being situated in the hearts of all living entities, the Lord knows everything. He did not hear the glories of devotional service in that recitation. Kope bole Prabhu beta ki artha vakhane Bhagavata artha kono janma o na jane. In anger, the Lord said, "What kind of explanation can this fellow give? He has never understood the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam in any of his lifetimes." Ei betara Bhagavate kono adhikar Grantha rupe Bhagavata Krishna avatar. I'll recite that again. Ei betara Bhagavate kono adhikar Grantha rupe Bhagavata Krishna avatar. What qualification does this fellow have to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is the incarnation of Lord Krishna in the form of a book. Shabe Purushartha Bhakti Bhagavata hai Prema Rupa Bhagavata Chari Vede kai. In Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is described as the ultimate goal of life. The four Vedas declare that Srimad Bhagavatam is the manifestation of ecstatic love. Srimad Bhagavatam is a manifestation of? So that ecstatic love which we are looking for is manifested in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So what we are getting into is something really profound. Chari Veda Dadi Bhagavata Navanita Mathilena Shukhe Khailena Parikshita. The four Vedas are like yogurt and Srimad Bhagavatam is like butter. Shukdev Goswami churned and Maharaj Parikshit relished the result. Mora Priya Shukha Se Janena Bhagavat Bhagavate Kahe Mora Tattva Abhimat. My dear Shukdeva knows the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the signs of my glories and position. Muni Mora Das Ara Granta Bhagavate Yara Beda Ache Tara Nashe Bhale Mate. Anyone who discriminates between me, my servant, and the book Bhagavatam is certainly destroyed. Bhagavata Tattva Prabhu Kahe Krodaveshe Shuniya Vaishnava Gana Mahananda Bhashe. In anger, the Lord narrated the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Vaishnavas floated in an ocean of bliss as they listened. Bhakti Vinu Bhagavata Yeyara Vakhane Prabhu Bale Sheyadama Kichui Na Jane. Regarding one who explains Srimad Bhagavatam without referring to devotional service, the Lord says, that rascal doesn't know a thing. So if I ever say something like that, you can chastise me as a rascal. Niravadi Bhakti Hina E Betha Vakhane Aji Punthak Chiriba Dekhaha Vidyamane. This fellow never mentions devotional service in his explanation. Watch how I tear up his book today. Punti Chiribare Prabhu Krodha Veshayai Sakala Vaishnava Gana Dariyarahai. In anger, the Lord went to tear up the book, but the Vaishnavas all held him back. Mahachintya Bhagavata Sarva Shastre Gai Ihana Bujiya Vidyatapa Pratishtai. All the scriptures glorify Srimad Bhagavatam as the most sublime literature, yet this cannot be understood through education, austerity, or fame. Can I repeat that, please? All scriptures glorify Srimad Bhagavatam as the most sublime literature, yet this cannot be understood through education, austerity, or fame. Bhagavata buji hena yara ache jnan, se na jane kabhu bhagavatera praman. One who thinks I understand Srimad Bhagavatam does not actually know the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. I have to repeat that. One who thinks I understand Srimad Bhagavatam does not actually know the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavate achintya ishvara buddhiyar se janaye bhagavata artha bhakti sar. One who accepts Srimad Bhagavatam as the inconceivable Supreme Lord knows that pure devotional service is the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you know this, you get your Bhakti Vaibhava degree. Bhagavate achintya ishvara buddhiyar sejanaye bhagavata artha bhakti sar. One who accepts Srimad Bhagavatam as the inconceivable Supreme Lord knows that the pure devotional service is the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva gune devananda pandita saman paite viral bhada hena jnanavan. Devanand Pandit was filled with all good qualities. Such an educated person is very rare. Shei shabalokera yata bhagavate brahma tateye anyera garva tarashastha yama. Yet Yamaraj punishes one who glorifies such reciters who have misunderstood Srimad Bhagavatam. So here, because we had this talk long time ago, whether to hear Bhagavatam from those who are not devotees. Even it is said Yamaraj punishes those who try to go and listen Bhagavatam from people who don't understand Bhagavatam, who are professional reciters, who want name, fame, money, or some other ulterior motive from Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavata padayaya karo buddhinash ninde avadhuta chande jagata nivas. One who reads Srimad Bhagavatam and blasphemes Avadhuta Nityananda, the refuge of the universe, loses his sense of discrimination. So, should we continue? Because this gives, what is the offense that Devananda committed that kind of caused him not to remember Srimad Bhagavatam? Should we go read them? Yeah, it's orientation. We can. Yeah, no pressure. It's orientation. The pressure is going to start after some time. Katadure dekhiya Pandita Devananda Mahakrode Kichutare Bale Gaurachandra. After walking some distance, Gaurachandra saw Devanand Pandit and spoke to him in anger. Devananda Panditera Srivasera Sthane Purva Aparada Ache Taha Haila Mane. The Lord remembered how Devanand Pandit had previously committed an offense against Srivas Pandit. Sei samaye nahi kichu prabhura prakash Prema shunya jagate dukhita sabadas. At that time, the Lord has not yet revealed himself, so the entire world was suffering in absence of love of Godhead. Yadi va padaye keha Gita Bhagavata tatapi na shune keha Bhakti abhimata. Even though some people taught Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, topics regarding devotional service were never heard from them. Sei samay Devananda Parama Mahanta Loke Bada Apekshita Parama Shushanta. At that time, Devanand Pandit was highly regarded by people as the most sober, saintly person. Bhagavata Adhyapana Kare Nirantara Akumara Sanyasira Praya Vratadhara. He always taught Srimad Bhagavatam. From his childhood, he had maintained a vow to remain like a sannyasi. Daive ekadina tatha gele Srinivas Bhagavata sunite kariya abhilash. One day by providence, Srinivas went to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Chaitanya Bhagavat alters Srinivas and Srivas, but they are one and the same. So if it's Srinivas and Srivas, it's the same. Akshera Bhagavata premamoy Shuniya dravila Srinivasera hriday. Every syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with ecstatic love. So Srivas's heart melted on hearing that recitation. Bhagavata Shuniya Kandaye Srinivas Mahabhagavata Vipra Chade Ganaswash. As the Mahabhagavat Brahmana Srivas listened to Srimad Bhagavatam, he began to cry and sigh deeply. Papishta Paduya Bale Hoila Janjala Padite na paye bhai vyarta hoy yai kala. The sinful students there said, "This is a disturbance. Oh brothers, we are unable to study and our time is being wasted." Samvarana na he Srinivasera rodhana Chaitanyera priya deha jagata pavana Papishta paduya saba yukti kariya Bahire Yedela Lana Srinivasa Taniya. Srivasa's crying could not be checked. Although Srivas was most dear to Lord Chaitanya, he purified the entire world. The sinful students conspired together and then dragged him outside. Devananda Panditana Kaila Nirvana Guru Yatha Bhakti Shunya Tata Shishagana. Devanand Pandit did not stop them. As the Guru was devoid of devotional service, so were his students. Bahyapay dukhite Srivasa gela ghara taha sabha jane antaryami Vishwambhara. After regaining his external consciousness, Srivas returned home in distress. Vishwambhara, as the super soul, knew all about this incident. Devananda darshane hoila smaran krodha mukhe bale prabhu sachiranandan. Ay Devananda baliye tumar tumiye be bhagavata padao sabar. Ei Srivase dekhita gangara manoratha he na jane gela shuni bare bhagavata. Kon aparatane sishya hatayaye badira bahire lana edila taniyaye. Bhagavata shunite ye khande Krishna rase taniya phelite ke tahare yogya ashe. As soon as the son of Sachi saw Devananda, he immediately remembered this incident and in angry mood he said, "Oh Devanand, let me tell you something. Now you are teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to everyone. Srivas, whom even Ganges desires to see, once went to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from you. For what offense of his did you have your students throw him out of your house? Is it proper to throw out someone who after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is crying in love for Krishna?" So we all pray that when we read at least half of Srimad Bhagavatam in Bhakti Vaibhava, at least one eye sheds some tear of love for Bhujilama tumi se padao bhagavata kono janme na janaha granta abhimata. I can understand that even though you teach Srimad Bhagavatam, you have not realized its purport in any of your lifetimes. So this is where we'll complete this. Paripurna kariyaye saba jana khaye tabe bahir deshe giya se santosha paye. Prema mae bhagavata padaya tumi tatha shuka na paila kahilama ami. One who eats to his full satisfaction feels happy when he goes out in the world. But I tell you that even though you teach Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of ecstatic love, you have not achieved happiness. Suniya vachana devananda dvijavara lajjaya rahila kichu nakare uttara. Krodaveshe baliya chalila vishwambhar dukhite chalila devananda nijaghar. Tatapi ha devananda bada punyavanta vachane o prabhu yare karilena danda. Chaitanyera danda maha sukriti shepaye yanra dande marila vaikunta lokayay. After hearing the Lord's words, the exalted Brahmana Devanand felt ashamed and did not offer any reply. Vishwambar departed after angrily chastising Devanand, and Devanand returned home in distress. Yet Devanand was the most fortunate, for the Lord personally chastised him. Only a most fortunate person receives punishment from Lord Chaitanya. If one dies as a result of Lord's punishment, he attains Vaikunta. Chaitanyera danda ye mastake karilai shei danda tare prema bhakti yoge hai. One who faithfully accepts Lord Chaitanya's punishment attains ecstatic love as a result. Should I repeat that? One who faithfully accepts Lord Chaitanya's punishment attains ecstatic love as a result. So that's why I said, if Mahaprabhu chastises me because I'm a stupid and sinful person teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. Oh, yep, we'll come there. Chaitanyera dandeyara chitte nahi bhai janme janme se papishta yama danda hai. A sinful person who does not fear Lord Chaitanya's punishment is fit for Yamaraj's punishment life after life. Bhagavata tulasi gangaya bhakti jane Chaturvida Vigraha Krishna Eichari Sane. Krishna appears in this world in 4 forms: Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulasi, Ganga, and the devotees. Where is Manjula? She asked me for that verse. Yeah. This is important. This is very good for book distributors. Jivanya, this is Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya chapter 21, text 82. 2182. What? Oh, screen. No, it's okay. Actually, he didn't know this. I just put him on the spot. We are just reading this. But after that, we have the handouts, and then we'll go from the handouts. Online. Yeah, I mean, even here also we can't. Yeah, but Chaitanya Bhagavat, do we have online? We don't. It's okay, don't try right now.
Please repeat that previous one, a person who accepts Lord Chaitanya's punishment.
Oh, okay. One who gets love of Lord as a result? Is that what it is? Or Yamaraj? Yamaraj.
A person who faithfully accepts Lord Chaitanya's punishment is to get ecstatic.
Right. Ecstatic. So text 79 says, one who faithfully accepts Lord Chaitanya's punishment attains ecstatic love as a result. And next verse says, a sinful person who does not fear Lord Chaitanya's punishment is fit for Yamaraj's punishment, life after life. Manjula, Mataji, your verse number is verse coming up. Reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya, chapter 21, text 81. Bhagavata Tulasi Gangaya Bhakti Jane Chaturda Vigraha Krishna Eichari Sane. Krishna appears in this world in 4 forms: Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulasi, Ganga, and the devotees. Jivan Yasa Karila Shri Murti Pujya Hai Janma Matra Eichari Ishvara Vede Kai. By invoking life in the deity form of the Lord, that form becomes worshipable. But it is stated in the Vedas that these 4 representations of the Supreme Lord, but it is stated in the Vedas that these 4 representations are the Supreme Lord from the time of their appearance. So I was mentioning earlier about how when we install the deities in the temple, we have to do Prana Pratishtapana before the deities kind of accept our service. But these 4 items, right from the time when they are born, they don't need anything. They are powerful. They are just representations of the Supreme Lord straight away from word go. So when we distribute Bhagavatam, we can just say that. Let me continue. I'll take the questions later, because we can quickly get sidetracked. Okay, I think that's about it. Yes, Sweep. Please use the mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare.
This is absolutely amazing. So question is, as you said, this is good for book distribution and when we can use this. One of the things that we encounter is they said that yes, we do regard Bhagavatam in the most utmost respect. So we don't want to keep it in our house, and we don't want to disrespect it if we don't read it, or because it is, as we are also mentioning them, it is a form of Krishna. So that's what we hear most often, that if the dust falls on it, or if we don't treat it with respect, that we will be committing an offense. This is...
Well, it is said in Tattva Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami quotes, I don't remember which Purana or which scripture. I think it's Vishnu Purana, some scripture, I don't remember. He says that wherever Srimad Bhagavatam goes, there goes Lord Vishnu along with 30 million demigods. And you just don't need to offer the proper worship. For example, if you see the Murti of the Lord, then naturally you want to dress, you want to do Aarti. But Bhagavatam is a different kind of Murti of the Lord, but gives the same effect right from word go. So, while it is true that you cannot offend Bhagavatam, you cannot keep it on the floor or kick it with feet or something like that. And most of the people who take Bhagavatam take it with respect. Please understand that when we distribute Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam is choosing to go of its own accord. Srimad Krishna he might go, might not go. We are doing our best to distribute, and it's up to him whether he wants to go to that particular house, because Bhagavatam is not different than Krishna. We think we are giving, but actually it's Krishna going himself. So in what way he goes, I don't know.
How?
I can tell from the personal experience that. Anyway, okay, that's fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. No. Well, I gave a set of Bhagavatam to my parents a long time ago, and they don't read it, but they are still there in the house. Sometimes it gathers dust, but it's just the nature of things. You can't avoid giving or distributing Bhagavatam because of the fear that something might happen. It's between them and the Lord, how they want to do. You're trying your best to do.
With devotees, Prabhuji, how do we understand working with children in the Bhagavatam? Because my son has a tendency to turn those pages very roughly. And we keep teaching them, we do, even with Tulsi. It takes time, but now he knows. Even if someone brushes past, he's the first one to shout. But also with marking the book when we study it.
Right.
How do we understand this and that in relation?
Marking is okay, it's your personal copy. As long as it's your personal copy, you can mark. You make notes, you can make some additions. If you have any reservations about really doing it with a pen, then do it with a pencil. If that mentally gives you some, freedom from guilt. Oh, I can always rub it later. It's going to be clean. So at least because you like some points, we will get into that when we go through the handouts which I gave. But in any case, the children will grow up, they will understand. It's okay that they are around. My daughter, she tore a page from Chaitanya Charitamrita when she was young. And literally, she was a goat around Tulsi plant. She would just chew Tulsi leaves, and we had to stop her. So it is... that was when she was 2 years old. She's okay right now, so don't chastise her, please. She's good right now. But it's just children will grow up, they'll understand. The fact that they are even attached to Tulsi plant is that they are pious from their previous life. Otherwise, Tulsi won't even let them come near them. Because these are all representations of Krishna. They have the power of Krishna to take care. Having said that, we offer our due respects. But you don't know what is the relationship of that soul with Krishna, because we haven't seen their previous lives. Anyway, sidetracked. But good point though. It's okay. Children, it's okay. You can chastise them for sure when they tear pages from Srimad Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, but not too harshly to the point that they start hating the books. They say, because of this book, a negative impression gets created in the mind. Yeah. That because I touched this book and something happened, I won't touch this book. Yeah, so I think to the extent you gently, mildly chastise them, they take it, but do it heavily out of your own false ego. Oh, this is my Bhagavatam, how did you do it? It really puts a deep negative impression, samskar on their mind. So one should be careful. Yeah. Because to add to the last point, they were at least touching the book when they tore the page. You can see it that way.
If you have 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
So, about writing on books. So, there is a small humorous but really profound anecdote where Radhesham Prabhu and Gaurang Prabhu go to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. I don't know which one of those. One was saying that we should not write on the book because it is Krishna. And another was saying that, well, we should write on the book because we are embellishing it more with our threadbare reading and it is ornamentation. So I think it was Radhesham Prabhu saying that we should not write, so he goes to Maharaj. And they had a...
Given knowing their personalities, I think you are pretty much right, I guess.
So Maharaj said, well, that is right. Then Gaurang, but no, we have to, we are embellishing our the book, and Maharaj said, that's also right. So it depends on the mood.
Right.
And if the mood is that we
Wonderful.
want to extol Srimad Bhagavatam, then it is.
Beautiful. The other point which this very nice you brought up, you paint on Krishna, right? You paint the deity of Krishna. So are you not writing on Krishna? But you got some mode of writing on Krishna then. So. Same thing. Because when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, that's our, it should be always there in the back of mind, this is not different than Krishna. And I'm so fortunate to read. Because trust me, from personal experience, I can tell after a time it becomes boring. It becomes tedious. But we push through. This one semester is kind of, you can say, a trial semester. And you can see for yourself what it involves in doing Bhakti Vaibhava. And after one semester, you can say, yeah, this is nice, I want to continue, or, no hard feelings, but I think this is not for me. It's okay. So, but my request is that after one semester, you are either in or out. And I want that dedication from the devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, because frankly speaking, some devotees don't like this. It's really work involved. It's dedication involved. And frankly speaking, people think, I have my rasa with Bhagavatam, why is this person saying I should do this only in this way or complete it in this time? So partially that mind kind of starts repelling and rejecting and rebelling. So it's okay. My goal is that if you can get a taste for Bhagavatam, which is a lifetime taste, in one way or other, it's wonderful. This is an excuse to read Bhagavatam, to read in the right mood, in association of devotees. And some pressure involved, of course, because of essays and stuff like that. But that we'll get into it. Yes, Sudeep, you had a question.
So, how many semesters is Bhakti Vaibhava?
We are looking at 4 to 5 years. Let's put 5 years.
That's good. I mean, I'm
The reason being is this. We'll I think Manjula Mataji will send out an outlay a little later. But our rough schedule is that in the first year we complete the first 2 cantos. So each semester will have around 14 to 15 chapters. But here is the deal. The exam questions will be only short answers. 1 word, 2 word, fill in the blanks, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. The reason being, essays are done as a part of your work. So essays, you do open book, you write essays on each chapter, the topics will be provided. But exams will be simple, reasonably straightforward. You can ask the batch which is already doing Bhakti Vaibhava. We are in the 3rd canto. In fact, we completed the 3rd canto, 22nd chapter today. The marriage of Kardama and Devahuti. So it will be intense before the exam, but it will be nice. 15 chapters you have to go through, but translations, no purports. Mainly I'll get questions from translations, not from purports. So you don't have to remember every single purport of every single verse of the 15 chapters. It's impossible. It's unrealistic. I don't expect it. I don't expect you to do it. It will be reasonably simple. Simple question paper. 1 or 2 tricky questions might come just to test, but otherwise it's going to be reasonably straightforward. So the way it is going to be is that's 1 chapter per week, 1 page of essay per week. 1 verse of memorization per week is something iffy. At this point, the reason is this. The board of exam says that we have to memorize 70 verses for the whole of Bhakti Vaibhava. 70. I would, 70 verses. So, after a stage, you quickly fill out those 70 verses. For example, in the first 2 cantos, there are 29 chapters. The first canto has 19, second canto has 10. So by the time we complete first 2 chapters, first 2 cantos, we have memorized 29 verses right there. 1 verse per week. And then the 3rd canto has 33 chapters. So we complete 62 verses by the time we complete the 3rd canto. And the 4th canto has, you get the picture here. So by the time you are in 4th canto, you are 90 verses.
All callers are unmuted.
You are pretty much around 90 verses, which is way beyond the 70 verses that's been asked of. So 6th, 5th, 6th. So please understand that it's a work in progress. This is not like Bhakti Vaibhava is not set in stone. like the Constitution of US, that's a work in progress. But the age which is 250 years old. So we just started very recently. We first of all have to thank His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Maharaj for actually inspiring the study. These are his notes mainly. You see, these are his notes. I modified them a little, but we can modify them as we go along. So this is a work in progress. So now 70 verses, I would rather push it to 85 or 90 verses. That's my personal goal. 90 verses are good. But at least 70 is what is required, but we'll see how it goes. Having said that, to get into the mood, we will have verse per week. So at least for the first 3 cantos, we'll have one verse per week to memorize. So
those verses are also in a collection like you give for the Bhakti Shastri?
Yes, they are, but the way it is that there are some core verses, there are some verses which you can add, but I would rather prefer we have all the 70 verses standardized rather than individual inputs into those 70 verses. It's reasonably easy to remember, and there will be not much of confusion. So we do have it, and then probably we can refine it as we go along. So that is the first thing. And second thing is, how do we meet? Class work. So please understand that this is no longer Bhakti Shastri. That attendance is mandatory, it's compulsory. You have to attend every week. Apart from that, we have presentations. The students will present every week. One student it goes on a rotating system. So given that we have a lot more students than the first batch, your frequency of presentation might be less. But the chapter you present, you read the best, you'll retain the best, you'll understand the best. Because you read deeply to present, and then devotees will ask you questions and you have to answer. So that way your presentation skills and your writing skills will improve as a part of Bhakti Vaibhava. What else? What else do you need? More questions, and then we can get into this. Padapadma, you can also take it home and read. I can give a brief overview. But any other questions you had?
While reading, we should go through the purports, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And having said that, some of the questions in exam, you might have to remember the purports. So a few purports at least. Yeah, some purports, for example, the Chatushloki purports, please, you have to read them because I will question you from that place. Because some few core places like that, I'll definitely ask. And then I'll tell beforehand. So, there is a concept of question bank where questions can be prepared and the exam can come from those questions. Versus you read all the chapters, brush up before exam. I would rather you read all the chapters before the exam because it will give a nice overview. Otherwise, what happens is that you will read somehow, and then a question bank. Okay, where is the question bank? All I need to know is question bank. So Bhagavatam takes back seat. So at least we'll keep Bhagavatam on the forefront, which is pretty much the aim of this particular course. If it gets too intense, then we can always have ways and means to work around that particular problem. But my goal is that you read Bhagavatam. Study guides, please understand at this point, there is a dilemma that's going on. Now, Bhagavad Gita has 700 pages. And there are guides which are 500 pages. I have seen guides giving how you should read Bhagavad Gita, which are 500 pages. I'm not denying the work done by the teacher to write that, but the fact of the matter is that guides take precedence over what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say. And then it becomes double the work rather than one work. We are all devotees who passed Bhakti Shastri, so we have a reasonable mood of how Srila Prabhupada writes. So our goal will be to have minimal study guides. We'll have guides, study guides, but it will be very brief points. What does it mean? What is some clarification or some explanation or some question? Because we say, what does Srila Prabhupada mean? We don't know. The reason being, please be very comfortable not knowing Srimad Bhagavatam. Not knowing Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu says that one who says, I know Bhagavatam, is the first person who doesn't know anything about Bhagavatam. So please be very, very comfortable with the fact that Bhagavatam will leave you with more questions than answers. Sometimes. Most of the times they are pretty satisfied. But given the fact that reading Bhagavatam is completely satisfying to the soul, it's a contradiction. You will leave with more questions, but the soul is completely satisfied. That's the nature of Bhagavatam. And so be very comfortable. Bhagavatam talks of happenings not on this universe but on many universes, happenings many yugas ago when things were so different, when personalities were so different, when the etiquette was so different. So everything happens. There is no chronology in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam goes from one different, you can say, theme to the next with no chronology. Because we are used to chronology. When you read autobiography of a person, it doesn't start with his when he got married. It starts when he's born, raised, how his child. It goes in a chronology. And we are used to chronology. Time is something we are used to. But Bhagavatam, there is no concept of time. It's just like Golok Vrindavan. Because Bhagavatam weaves the stories through different ways. So get comfortable having questions. That doesn't mean you don't ask questions. Please ask as many questions, but don't expect all the answers in one go. And the more importantly, you may get the answers, but your mind may not be able to understand or grasp completely at one go. And it has happened. Consistently it has happened in Bhagavatam. So we just pray. Well, then what do? We try to understand as much as we can. We cross-reference. Go here. Okay, this book says this book says this. We can correlate. But our intelligence and our knowledge of different books is only so limited. So we cannot completely correlate and get a perfect answer to that question which is bugging us. That is point number one. Point number two is that we beg to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada to reveal us what is this purport of Bhagavatam? What do you mean by this? So that humility, that begging of mercy is the most essential attitude in reading Bhagavatam. Is that okay? Yeah, so you had a question. Oh, Manjula Mataji, go ahead. And if...
Prabhuji, this is a constant question, but one day it will answer. My brain will connect to the answer. But, Srimad Bhagavatam was a discussion between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, who was narrating something he heard from a previous discussion, which must have come from What is the Srimad Bhagavatam? Am I reading the abridged version, the adapted version, like with a non-detailed fiction? You get a book and then there's an abridged version and then there's someone else's non-detailed reader version. Which version of the Bhagavatam am I on?
$1 million question.
It's the same version. One version. How is that possible? Good question. You take cotton and you compress it and compress it and compress it till this cotton comes to this size. And then somebody comes and uncompresses it, uncompresses it, uncompresses it. So essentially Bhagavatam, that's what is happening. If we see, Bhagavatam was spoken 5 times. In Bhagavatam itself. Did I include that or not? I didn't. Okay. So Bhagavatam I didn't include. So Bhagavatam was spoken 5 times. First from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. And those are the 4 verses, the Chatushloki verses of Bhagavatam. In that 4 verses, the Lord gave everything. Then Brahma spoke to Narada. Narada, one day he went to Brahma and Brahma was meditating. Now Narada came from Brahma. He said, I thought you are the Supreme. But who are you meditating on? Is somebody above you? And then Brahma spoke to Narada, the Bhagavatam, for the 2nd time. Then Narada spoke to Vyas. Vyas to Shukdev. Shukdev to Maharaj Parikshit. And Suta Goswami back again to the sages in Naimisharanya. Then there is also the Vidura to Maitreya is also there, because Vidura asks Maitreya some questions, and there are some aspects of that. But this is essentially what the number of times the Bhagavatam was spoken.
So
The way you're explaining it is the Supreme Truth takes various forms.
Yes.
But no matter which form he is still the Supreme Truth.
Right. Right.
So in that way, the Srimad Bhagavatam may be discussed by different people at different forms. It may be four sentences. It may be 40,000 verses.
Right. Right.
But no matter what form we are seeing it, we still see the Lord.
Correct.
So we accept.
True. In that sense, because, please understand, in that sense also, because the question comes, Bhagavad Gita is directly spoken by the Lord, Bhagavatam is the verses about the Lord. In one sense that is true, in one sense also the Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord himself. Because in the Bhagavatam he says, whatever verses I told, whatever science that is told, that is what is Bhagavatam. So essentially Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord himself also in one sense. And it was expounded, expanded, and because the questions came about, Maharaj Parikshit had a different set of questions than what Vidura asked Maitreya. And sages of Naimisharanya had a different set of questions to Suta Goswami than what Maharaj Parikshit had to Shukdev Goswami. So when the questions came about, the answers took form, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam, which you know in the present context. Because in the 4 Chatushloki verses, Vishnu just gives just the sutra, just the seeds of Bhagavatam. And the tree, what you see, is now from that seeds. Yes, Harivamsha Prabhu, Shamlangi Mataji, and then...
So we understand that Vyasadev as well as Narad Muni was present in the conversation between Shukdev Goswami Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj. Was Vyasadev also present in the discussion of the sages of Naimisaranya? Or he's a Trikaldarshi, so he can see and then write?
I don't know if he was present there in the sages of Naimisharanya. There is no recording or there is no mention of that. But it was compiled by Vyasadev. That's what we know. Maybe that could be a possibility, what you said.
Sometimes I have heard in lectures, Maharaj is mentioning that he was a Trikaldarshi, so he could see what would have been spoken.
Right.
So he just wrote that down.
True. And to the fact that Shukdev Goswami, in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when he concludes his teachings, he points to Suta Goswami who is sitting in the audience, and he says that this person will again speak Bhagavatam. He mentions, he says that. Shukdev Goswami points to Suta Goswami, he says he's going to, because he knows past, present and future, he says he knows he will speak. So if the son can know, then father can definitely know. If father can give Trikalagnya Darshi to Sanjaya, why can't he have it himself? Right, compiled, correct. But in any case, when you have this mercy, don't question justice in the face of mercy. Happy we have it.
So Prabhuji, just curious, not like I'm questioning anything like that, but so all the shlokas which we are reading, they are compiled by Vyasadeva.
Yes.
And do we know whether it was compiled after it was spoken to sages of Naimisaranya? Because I don't know, Vyasadeva writes Vyasa Uvacha like that.
Yeah, so this is the same thing. Same thing we said, right? He wrote a book, he compiled a book, so...
It's the most science fictional and non-science fictional.
Yeah.
That's when he was feeling morose and Narada appeared and
right.
said, so that's when he started compiling.
Right.
Really, but it says Vyas Nigama that in its maturity.
Yeah.
So once it is spoken by Shukdev Maharaj, then he wrote it, right?
Is it?
I mean, again, we cannot
No,
know everything
actually,
about
no. So Shukdev Goswami heard Bhagavatam from Vyasadev, which is the fruit of all the mature Vedic literature. Vyasadev gave the fruit, Shuka bit the fruit and made it even more sweeter. Nigama kalpatar orgalitam phalam.
Anyway, justice in the face of...
Okay.
Prabhuji, is Zandubam free for your classes?
Rajendra Kumar, Prabhu. Okay, go ahead, Sudeep, and then Rajendra Kumar.
Okay, so the question is, you just mentioned a few minutes back that Narada came from Brahma. This is something always baffling because Narada's previous life is when he was serving the sages. And then after that, when he went out in the search of the Supreme Personality, and later on he got his spiritual body. So where is this connection about Narada coming from Brahma?
I didn't get you. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. The question is, you mentioned Narada came from Brahma, right? When Narada approached Brahma, he said, "Oh, I thought you are the supreme." But when we read Bhagavatam, we learn that Narada's previous birth.
Correct. He was the son of a maidservant. Then he, as you know, his mother passed away because of snake bite. He was all of 5 years old. He left the home and he searched different places. He focused his mind on the Supreme Lord, and the Lord appeared, but only in the voice form. And he said, "You are not yet completely mature. And then I have given you my darshan." He gives darshan very briefly, and then he goes. Then he tries again his mechanical process to regain the darshan of the Lord. At that time, the Lord comes in a voice form. He says that I gave you darshan just to whet your appetite. And then Narada becomes perfect in that lifetime. When he dies, or when he gives up this body, he gets wound up in the body of Mahavishnu. And then Brahma, in the next time, when the creation happens, he comes from the body of Brahma, along with 4 Kumaras and everybody else. So 4 Kumaras are completely transcendental, right from their birth, but still they came from the body of Brahma. Yeah, but so the thing is, no, please understand that Brahma is the creator. He can impregnate the souls into different bodies. He has that capacity to do so. But the power is imparted by the Supreme Lord because of their devotion.
Prabhu, on the same point,
Please let me also clarify: Brahma is not different than Krishna in one sense, because he is the qualitative avatar of the Lord. So when we see the dichotomy, then we think, Brahma is of his own. No, he is completely linked with Krishna. In one sense.
okay, Prabhu, the one last point is, you mentioned that in the next, his birth, he comes from Brahma. The question is, Narada in his spiritual form, where he's roaming, traveling all over the universe, singing Narayana, Narayana, where is that? Is that coming from Brahma, or is that...
It's coming from, see, the point is, your understanding is that everything coming from Brahma is gross, material. No, it's not. The 4 Kumaras are liberated right from their birth. They came from Brahma. Brahma, he wanted to create, the Lord said, create progeny. And then Brahma, from the mind of Brahma came 4 Kumaras. Brahma said, create progeny. He said, thanks, Father, but you know what? We are hiking. We are taking a hike. And he got angry. From his anger came Lord Shiva. So the Kumaras, though they came from Brahma, it's not Brahma is gross. Please understand, he's not gross like an ordinary conditioned living entity. He's an extremely powerful being who can produce both material and spiritual. So so Kumaras are completely transcendental to material body. I have another question. Is Vyasa material or spiritual? No, but still, Brahma is also, Narada is also an avatar.
He is descended on this planet.
Yeah. So the point is, Vyasa is a Shakti-avesh avatar of Krishna. So he is an avatar, but he is still a jiva. Brahma is a guna avatar. Yeah, all the avatars, they are all avatars. In one sense, avatars are not different from avatari. In one sense, they are different. So, you know what, we reserve our questions. Don't jump into questions right now. We have all full 5 years to discover answers to these questions. Course. Right now we'll keep it to course, not to Bhagavatam, because we are jumping way ahead.
Yes.
And this is, I need my answers now without reading.
This is completely as per the
right
course.
Now all the questions about course. We have half an hour more.
Course is, so you mentioned 29 chapters, right? First canto and second canto, and we are dealing with the first 2 cantos, which would mean about 7 months total. So that would mean 1 chapter per week, approximately.
It's something like that, yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
And the other thing is, some chapters will be clubbed. If the chapters are too small, they will be clubbed into 1 week. If the chapters are very, very big, they will be divided. So few of the chapters have like 82, 83, 84, 85 verses. And there are a good 200 pages of per person, stuff like that. So they will be divided.
This is also a logistic question.
Okay.
Like,
Rajendra Kumar Prabhu, sorry. I apologize, Rajendra Kumar.
Green now. So I had a question on the previous discussion. You said it was spoken 5 times. I heard that I've heard one story from devotees. I just want your confirmation whether it's true or not. That Sukdev Goswami heard it when Lord Shiva was telling to Parvati, and Parvati slept, and Sukdev Goswami turned. He in a form of a parrot. So can you is this a true story?
Yeah, it is mentioned in one of the Puranas. I can look it up, but it's a true story also.
Okay, so
Shuka was he was the parrot of Radharani, and he heard.
okay. So this goes back to, so what is Srimad Bhagavatam? What is it? When say so many people have spoken, what is the main theme and what are the main points that they keep repeating and that is considered, this is also Srimad Bhagavatam? Because so many people are speaking, and so what is the main theme in all of them?
So we can see Srimad Bhagavatam from many angles. The first angle is, what is the target of Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the goal of Srimad Bhagavatam? The other angle is, what subject matters are covered in Srimad Bhagavatam? Then the third angle can be, what is the sociology of Srimad Bhagavatam? What is, you can say, ecology of Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the epistemology of Srimad Bhagavatam? So you can cover from so many angles. So which angle you want, that you get from Srimad Bhagavatam. So many devotees see it from many angles. But one thing I can say is that story was relatively new to me also. I'll look it up, because there is Gaur Govinda Maharaj's disciples, they have this Krishna Kathamrita magazine. No, it's not a Bindu. Bindu is weekly, but they have that magazine. They come out every week. And then there is one magazine called The Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. In that it's mentioned. At the end, I'll narrate a humorous story from that particular book also later. Wonderful. Yes, Shraddha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful. Yes, Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shivas Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada.
Apologies that Mukharand and I couldn't make it to the lecture. We would have really wanted to be there, but we had some daunting duties, and I'm actually seeing a chiropractor, so my body is literally broken into pieces.
Oh, Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada. Resound. It's a resound.
So Prabhuji, I was just, I'm not going to ask questions. I just wanted to say that I would love to compile or, format those 70 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam that you want us to memorize.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji. I'll forward that to you. Thank you so much. You're right into your service mode. I'm glad to have you on the course. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Hari Om Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for taking this wonderful class.
All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
Okay. Lavanya Mataji is Manjula Kanta Mataji. She's asking if the count of, obviously Shraddha Mataji is online, but is there anybody online that would like to say Haribol and introduce yourself? *6 and you can unmute. Thank you, Malini. Oh, it was not working early. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, this is the logistic question. When will the classes happen and what time?
Wonderful, wonderful. So, we have classes every week and the attendance is mandatory. So, we cannot say that, unless there is some extenuating circumstances, obviously, of course. It's not like there is a medical emergency or you have to travel, the classes will be recorded and you need to attend those to kind of say that you have done it. The reason why we are insisting that the classes or the attendance is mandatory is the Bhakti Vaibhava for the board of exams to satisfy. We have to show that every candidate has attended 3 hours of classwork every week. Every week for that session. So the way I see it is that please spare about 6 hours of your valuable time for Bhakti Vaibhava every week. 3 hours will be for classwork and another 2.5 to 3 hours depending on how fast you can write essay, how fast you can read. Let me tell you how we do the logistic part of it. The 3 hours, there are a couple of ways of doing it. Usually in our group, we have 1 hour to 1.5 hours of classes, and then we have 1 hour of study partner. So you can pick up a study partner among your class, and this is a rule that has been imposed. I'm not extremely fancifully inclined and enthusiastic about this rule, but one way you can do is you can actually study with your study partner. Just read. Just take out, for example, you have a study partner, you can just call up and then start reading, which you have to read. Anyway, you have to read, either by yourself, read with a study partner. That way it will cover 1 to 1.5 hours of study. And that way you can also start reading. So it'll be a nice exercise also. But the way I do it is, this semester my study partner is Hanumat Preshak Maharaj. And I'm fortunate because I've been doing this for the last 5 years, 4.5 years, 4 years, 3.5 years now. This is the first time I had a chance. So I have other study partners. So basically we go over, we fix up a time for the week. We just actually go through and read. Or in this case, of course, I read before because Maharaj discusses it and I need to be ready kind of thing. But so you can have that flexibility with your study partner or partners. It need not be one-on-one. It can be group of 2 or 3. 3 should be more, because 4 and 5 might be a little more. So every week you need to log the timesheets showing that yes, I attended the class and then I attended the study partner, and this is my 3 hours every week. So there needs to be a tally of. So I keep a tally of your own in an Excel spreadsheet. Please keep a tally of how many hours you put in. So these are all so you're on stepping to the next level. So it's no longer like just casual stuff. It's a little more involved. Right. Unfortunately, that was one of the goals of the orientation. Healthy fear. More than that, healthy fear, it's just, I want to give it up front so that devotees know what they are getting into, rather than getting frustrated at the end and thinking, it's perfectly healthy to say that this is what it is. And this is not, I made up these rules. It's the board of exam that made up these rules and we need to follow those. It's okay if the devotees say that, sorry, I can't do this. I want to read on my own. It's perfectly okay, as long as you read on your own in one way or other. Yes. Which is why I wanted to have an orientation, which is why I wanted to tell what you're getting into. And that's why I say that the first semester you can take it as a trial. Really take it as a trial. If you are not sure about it, don't even pay the fees. If you are up to it, give the essays, and then when you sit for exam and you are up to it, and then you can pay the fees for the first semester. Only for the first semester though. But that's why once after this semester, you know what it is. You can decide for yourself what's your service level, what's your family obligation, what's your job responsibilities, what are the other things, your own, your own pace. Some devotees like to go very slowly, but please understand, at times it might happen, more often than not, that in the rush of completing, you may not get the rasa of reading Bhagavatam, that nice relaxed way. But the nice relaxed way will end up not reading anything at all for this whole lifetime. So it can work both the ways, depending on your personality.
But Prabhuji, you're giving a full semester.
Huh?
What
Yeah.
about the study partner if you get dumped halfway?
No. Actually, the study partners get rotated every week, every semester. We are not going to keep the same study partners because it's not going to be a groupism here. One minute, Sudhir. So, what else I wanted to cover? The other thing I wanted to say was, the classes will be on Sunday. We are planning in the morning. The first batch of Bhakti Vaibhava is from 7:15 to 8:45, so give me some time for breakfast. And then I can do from 9 to 10:30. 9 to 10:30, is that a good time?
You mean 2 batches?
No. Yeah, so they already have the 7:15 slot on Sunday. So 7:15 to 8:45, and sometimes it goes till 9. But I can make a strict 8:45 will be a cutoff, and we can have it at 9. So from 9 to 10:30. The other option is weekdays. I'm sorry, no can do, because it's tough. And we tried, because with the first batch we used to have on Thursdays at 7. It was really tough, because the devotees, their work schedules were not too sure. The second thing was, it would be very tired after a hard day's work. And then Thursday evening means already you worked 3 days, 4 days a week, and the 4th day end, you have to do it. It was tough. So weekends, mornings, Sunday is, most of the times it's okay. But if the devotees have serious concerns, or there are majority of devotees that can't do, then we have to figure out. The other option is way early. Way early is also, Sunday morning way early is something I would, something like that, but it will be too morning.
Crams into your chair and japa.
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing.
Yeah.
The option we can do, but the thing is, Malini, that everybody has to be present.
When you come, you again go back. It's like
Online is acceptable.
2 to 4 is okay. 2 to 4 is fine. This time is fine. I mean, alternate.
But then we'll clash with the Bhakti Shastri, right? Because every week we have to do, every alternate week they have to do.
You're only phoning in.
It appears that Sunday mornings or late mornings is fine. Even can be an option from 11 to 12:30.
Okay.
Or further later.
9:30. Give
9:30 also. No, give till 11. Both lunch and breakfast together.
Then he'll be sitting with us all day, no?
The thing is, if you come to temple for us, again, like, if you come that early.
Yes, Prabhu, whatever schedule suits your teaching.
So we can do it online. The one thing with the, I have seen the advantages. Online, invariably you will be distracted. You will be sitting at home, your child will come for something, your phone is ringing, your husband is calling, there are people, or wife is calling. One more browser with email. I had to check that important thing, whatever I need to. So, having personally experienced that, I personally experienced that sort of problems working online. It can get lonely. When you sit here, you at least see each other's faces, and at least, in a virtual world, there is something real that's happening. I recently saw a picture that there was a group of people waiting for the train, and there was one person looking at everybody. Everybody else was just looking at their phones. Every single person, there were about 15 to 20 people, only one person was looking at what was happening. So this will be a great atmosphere to come, but if you can make it, then yeah, we can do it in temple. I can adjust with the Bhakti Shastri, it's not a problem.
So maybe like when the weeks there is not Bhakti Shastri, that week we can have Bhakti Vaibhava, the other week we can do online, if that is okay.
Please speak into the mic, because a lot of people are online today.
No, but then you have to accommodate different times, right? 2 to 4 when...
My request is that we'll all decide a time, we'll stick to it no matter what. Yes. Because what I found is that works. When you change times, it becomes really painful. Because your whole subconsciousness will say, okay, that time to that time, I can't come. There is a party, sorry. Or I have to do this, I can't. So the thing is, your mind is kind of attuned. It says, I just, that's fixed. So, yes, Sudeep.
So going back in Bhakti Shastri, we had something with Bhagavad Gita, we had a midterm, and here we have quite a bit to
Correct.
cover.
Yes.
So would we have something like a midterm? Nothing.
Nope, 15 chapters straight through. That's what I was making. I don't know you were there or not, but our exams won't be that tough. There will be no essays.
Yes, you mentioned that, I was here, but it's like first 2 cantos, 29, right?
Yeah. But no. Okay, let me clarify. So each semester will have 15 chapters, around 15 chapters. So the first 2 cantos will be divided into 2 semesters. It's a good point you brought up. Okay, so this is 2014. From 2014 to 2015 end, we'll be doing the first 2 cantos. 2015 to 2016, 3rd canto. 2016 to 2017, 4th. 2017 to 2018, 5th, and possibly half of 6th. Depends. 5th has 26 chapters. So the thing is, it's a 4 or 5 year program, and the devotees have said that they wanted Brahma Samhita, and we might also have Tattva Sandarbha. Might. At this point, I haven't decided yet. So we have to decide on how far we want to go, how long can we go, and the bare minimum is 6 cantos, and the southern part of Nectar of Devotion. Southern part of Nectar of Devotion is a must. Actually, I don't even know why only southern part. If I push for, I can push for the entire Nectar of Devotion. Otherwise, throughout your life, you'll never read what is Virya Rasa and what is the Rasa Bhash. Nobody has a clue what is Rasa Bhash. What rasa can be mixed, what rasa can't be mixed. So, I would rather go for, if we can't do Brahma Samhita, can't do, but at least I would rather go for entire of Nectar of Devotion. So, at least at the bare minimum, we'll have 6 cantos plus Nectar of Devotion. At least southern part, for now. I would rather go for whole, but southern part is a bulk. After that, it's not much.
Prabhuji, can you tell us what you want us to take home today? Because almost 4. But when we sit here and listen to you, and we
still
listen
have
to
about 12 minutes. So.
Yeah. No, but what do we understand from what you're saying? How do I assess my life and say I can do Bhakti Vaibhava?
Honestly, future is something which you can't see. So that's why there is a trial thing. But my request to you is act as if you are here for 5 years. I'm here for the long haul, and give my best in the first semester. And truly then you assess. Otherwise your mind easily says, no, I can't do it, it's too much. I have a way out, I'll take it. So it's okay. So, but at the end of first semester, which will be 15 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have 15 chapters of the first canto.
So, Prabhuji, yes, the one thing that I'm definitely taking out naturally is that this is a very intense program, honestly. Right. The other thing is, I was a bit concerned about the attendance because there will be some weekends where I will be traveling to Sacramento. And if an online or dial-in option is available, I'll definitely do my best to attend that. And that I will do it. There is no, but complete attendance here is...
I agree. No. My complete attendance is that you have to show that number of hours per week. And then part of that, because that's the only class we have, either you can take it offline, only for extenuating circumstances. You can't, the devotees have been politely but firmly requested that they can't kind of go miss 2-3 classes at a stretch and think that's okay. It's not okay. One class because I'm sick or I'm traveling is completely understandable. 1-2 classes here and there if you go to India, I can understand. That is Mayapur Prabhu, Rajendra Kumar Prabhu, and then Prabhu.
So Prabhu, we only do 6 cantos? I mean...
Yes, Bhakti Vaibhava is only 6 cantos.
6 cantos, okay.
But trust me, by the time you are done with the 6 cantos, you'll think that is a lot. And it is a lot.
Yeah.
Bhakti Vedanta, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, whatever Krishna wants.
No, I mean, I'm not saying you do it this way. No, not in Bhakti Vaibhava. But do we do this? Because I think I'd asked you this question about...
Yeah, it's a work in progress. So.
You bought these notes and there are some block diagrams. Were you thinking to explain these block diagrams?
Right. So we'll quickly go through the notes.
Last question, Prabhu,
yeah.
Very quickly. So, sooner we'll be able to decide the time slot on Sunday morning?
Yes.
That we can chalk out the schedule properly.
Correct. So, but we haven't decided yet. We haven't decided. No. But the point is, if we have a choice, we'll never decide.
Exactly. So it's better we decide now.
Let me... because 2 to 4, 2 to 4 can be an intensely, relaxing period as far as your mind goes, and it wants to fall into sleep. Maybe not be the best time to kind of go through reading Bhagavatam. Sunday afternoons is like, really? Okay. No. The thing is, I am okay. I've been doing this, so I have not a problem. Fortunately, Malini makes sure that I eat well, not to the point that I sleep, but I'm grateful for my wife to make sure that because the thing is, if I don't eat, then that's a problem. Otherwise,
9 to 10:30 is nice.
9 to 10:30, okay. Because Sunday, that doesn't also interfere with book distribution.
No, actually, along with the book distribution programs, there are certain calls which we are setting up. So earlier we were thinking 10, but now 10:30 is also fine. 11 may be too late.
Right.
So 9 to 10:30 is different will be scheduled for calls. So 10:30 will work for them.
So we can do one thing then. So if you can see on page 3. So each of the chapters are divided into modules. If you see the word modules. So for the Canto 1 and Canto 2, we have modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 modules constitute the first 2 cantos, which means that there will be a module review. So there will be 1 week gap. You have chapters. So first week is chapter 1, second week is chapter 2, third week is chapter 3. Then there is a break for one week where you do a complete overview of that particular module to see what's going on. So in that sense, there is not like every week you have to complete for next 29 weeks with no break. So there are module reviews, there are breaks. So it's not going to be that. And so even if you kind of couldn't complete all the 3 chapters, you have 1 week to catch up to kind of get the module review done. And usually what has worked best is that at the end of the module, you have to submit your essays for that module. If I don't put in that rule, then you have to write 16 pages of essay, cramming up at the end of semester in 3 or 4 days is extremely intense and painful. Actually, I went through it. I don't want it. It's painful. You don't feel like it. You'll even forget what you read, 5, 6, almost 3, 4 months ago, you read the first. It's good in one way that you brush up for the exam, but you wouldn't want to brush up for the exam in that painful circumstances. Right. No, I mean, it may not be true because essay topics can be completely different. For example, I'll give you one essay topic. One of the essay topics we had was Ashwatthama was being punished, right, by Lord Krishna. One of the essay topics we had was, how can you create a law for the modern judiciary based on these pages of Bhagavatam? Or some essay topic is, what if you are addressing the CEO of a company, what management lessons will you give from Srimad Bhagavatam? So the essay topics are really not going to be just rehashing, recramming the chapter. Sometimes they are. Sometimes the essay topic is, please summarize this entire chapter in 1 page. And when I've seen that, I've seen a lot of copy-paste. And I see that 1 line is written by them, 4 lines are copy-pasted, different font, then the 3rd line is written, 4th line is copy-pasted. 1 line has, the diacritics, the other line doesn't. And in some cases, it has been, the whole page has been copy-pasted with last 1 line. This is my understanding. So anyway, do you feel we should have one more class before we go on? I would have no problems having a little more, because the time is running out, and we should get started?
Yes, Prabhu, we should get started. And
then any questions we have, we go along, right? We'll be seeing each other's faces at least for 6 months. Yes.
So the time is locked?
The time, I almost kind of locked, final working on it. But if you have any questions, then our administrative director is Manjula Kanta Mataji. You can just shoot all your questions to her, and then she can respond. On Sunday morning. Online, and my only thing was for module review, we can come to the temple. So the students will start giving the classes, so get prepared to speak and prepare PowerPoint presentations or however you want to do your presentation. Module, it depends on the speaker. Usually I do the module reviews and most of the times I have PowerPoints. But if not, if lack of time, I just use the regular thing. But in any case, I think we'll finalize it. The online, I'll have to start setting up a particular WebEx kind of thing so that we can have online meetings. I think that's about it. Once in a while, we should meet in the temple, though. It'll be nice. Online, after a time, online can get really boring. It doesn't have that personal involvement. Yes.
There's no way that can be switched with the ongoing batch which is happening in the morning? Probably not, right? Looking at your expression, I don't think so.
No.
I'm still bringing it up, Prabhu. I mean...
See, the thing
they
is,
are more
I'll tell you one thing. Okay, let me give a very personal example to that. Let me give a personal example to that. Right behind you is Kameshwari Mataji. Sorry to put you on spot. She is going to be joining this batch. Her husband, Sri Gopal Prabhu, my good friend, is in the previous batch. There is no way in the 3 worlds can you get me to say I favor one batch over another. Well, Rasika Mataji will come back and say the same thing. So that argument also can kind of... Right. So the point is that, well, you can elect one of spokesperson from your side. I can have them elect a spokesperson from their side, and they can get to talk and see if they can talk.
Never reach a conclusion, Prabhu.
Huh?
No. Here's one thing. I think you mentioned something about not having it on the weekday. I get that. You're mentioning because we'll be tired by the end of the day. But how about beginning of the day during the week? Still not? Okay.
Because there are kids to be dropped, there is cooking to be done, there is rounds to be there are rounds to be completed. There are rounds to be completed. Actually, you are so focused on your day that Bhagavatam will be the last thing, even though you are sitting for a Bhagavatam class. Yeah. No, let's do it in a more peaceful setting. It's okay. So the next class is where? No, we have to decide.
Yeah,
we'll decide.
Next update is a mail update?
Next time when we send out, then we'll give the calendar for the first 2 cantos.
Next week is Pumpkin Festival.
Where are you?
Pumpkin Festival.
You're carving pumpkins.
Where is Pumpkin Festival? Huh? On Sunday? Okay.
Both days.
Then you have to decide, because unless there is like a festival in the temple, that like a major festival, we are not going to stop. So it's something.
Maybe only
besides from 9 to 10:30 in the morning, if it is there, after that you can go also, right?
We're not sure. It may be also possible that we can attend online.
I agree. I wouldn't do anything to kind of inhibit the book distribution. But having said that, too many changes is really unhealthy, because you can't.
No, actually, we request that it start as soon as possible.
Right.
We get kick-started.
All right. So, and last but not least, I would like to thank my wife, Malini, for helping me. She's been very supportive, because it's not a easy service to kind of do, but. And also, I beg for your forgiveness, because you have a very, very stupid teacher to start with. He doesn't know much. He's pretty much useless in all levels. And so bear with me. And I'll try my level best to answer your emails, but there may be some time lag, so please forgive me. If there is urgent stuff, you can directly call me. Do not hesitate in calling me. But I beg for your forgiveness in advance that if I am a little strict with you in terms of your essays, in terms if I kind of say that you are not attending the classes, because classes are important. I can't, and then or if I see that people are not attentive in the classes. My humble request, falling at each of your feet, is that you bring all your attention to Bhagavatam. That's the only thing you can get. We cannot get the purity. We cannot get the level of knowledge that we can have. Only thing we can bring is our attention, and Bhagavatam will reciprocate. Will take us back home, back to Godhead, give us the pure love of Godhead that we are looking for, along with chanting of our holy names. So that's all I ask. And honestly, I really do not know about Bhagavatam. Not I'm saying quoting Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I really am. As I read Bhagavatam, I see I do not know much. It's so much to know. That is a journey. It's an exhilarating, wonderful. When you read Bhagavatam, you will see. You get such a magnificent vision of what the universe is and how tiny and insignificant we are. And without that, we will just hand over the mic to Balivardhan Prabhu. Please continue, Prabhu. No. We are done. Unless there are any
Essay topics, they look like you can't even write one line, that.
No, seriously. But when we read the chapter, you'll get the inspiration. That particular thing came from Lord Vishnu. When Jay and Vijay, they were in the third canto, when Kumaras cursed them and Lord Vishnu came himself, you see how the lesson in management, how there is conflict resolution that's happening, how everybody was satisfied, though there was a conflict. So many lessons you can draw from the pages of Bhagavatam that we can apply. Right? All right, with that, I think I thank each and every one of you for your sincere desire to join Bhakti Vaibhava. One last but not least is that as you do Bhakti Vaibhava, those who are not initiated, I humbly request that you think about it strongly, because it's not a requirement at this point of time, not that I know of that you have to be initiated to do Bhakti Vaibhava, but at least those who are not initiated might start considering or aspiring from some spiritual master, because it's a gray area, and I don't want to be caught in that gray area where I admitted people with who are not initiated. So, no, there are a few other people. Don't worry. No, it's okay. At least I know their aspiration. Yeah. Not initiated. At least you have to be aspiring. It's not like that I come to ISKCON and that I have no. Nothing to do with it. I just come only for Bhagavatam, but nothing to do with any guru or Prabhupada. That sort of mentality is. All right. Thank you so much. Vansha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha. I'll send the soft copy.